Welcome to another episode of your personal development. And today we are going to be talking about being an eternal optimist. So last week we talked about being a preneur and all the things that encase being a different type of entrepreneur, whether it's a homepreneur, a selfpreneur, a work from anywherepreneur, work from phonepreneur, a socialpreneur. There's multiple different preneurs. But the thing is that today we're going to dive into what you need to have happen in your life in order for those things to be successful. So today we're talking about being an eternal optimist. I've talked about this before, that in order to make things take place in your entrepreneur journey, you have to become an eternal optimist. You have to become a grass is greener on the side that you're on, because you know that what you water will grow. And if you only look for the negative, you will only reap the negative. But if you are an eternal optimist and look for the positive, look for the hope, look for the good in things, you will discover it. So when it comes to being a leader, there is power in being a positive leader. So why do you need to embrace optimism and positivity? Well, in case you haven't looked outside lately, there's a lot of negativity and pessimism everywhere. All you have to do is go scroll through social media, turn on the news. It is constantly negative. You know, we joke all the time, CNN stands for constantly negative news. So first thing you should do is look at what's coming into your mind, what things that you are showing yourself, and see if those things are helping build a new positive mindset, or if they are things that are causing you to have to overcome your thoughts during the day. The reason why being an optimist is so important is because what we believe determines what we create. What we say and how we say it will eventually come to pass. So if you are looking for and seeing and trying to find the good in things, guess what? You will find it. Conversely, if you're looking for the bad thing to happen, the negative thing to happen, you will always find that as well as what you say, how you say it, and more importantly, what you say and how you say it to yourself will directly have an impact on what you have and what you create. See, whenever anything is mentioned in the Bible for the first time, it's normally a precedent setter. And in the beginning, God spoke things to existence. So God spoke things and they created and took place. You have that same power. If you speak things, if you are consistently speaking positive, you are consistently speaking opportunity and optimism, those things will come to pass in your life. Now, I know this is hard. Naturally being positive is not how we are wired. We are hardwired for self-preservation. So what does that mean? That means our mind, body, and our eyes are always looking for the negative in order to protect us. You know, our brain is still looking for the things that will cause us harm. So you have to train yourself daily to be a positive leader. You have to train yourself daily to look for the good. So how can you do that? Well, start by doing a gratitude journal or saying things that you're grateful for throughout the day. So if you start your day with gratitude, it will cause you to start looking for gratitude. Also, at the end of the day, write down the one thing for the day that you were grateful for, to remind yourself to look through your day to see what positive thing took place. So when you are doing these things morning and night, you start creating a habit. You start training your brain to look for positivity, because we are naturally not looking for those things. So if you just wake up and go about your day, the first thing that happens to you is normally going to program your mind for the day. So we want you to take charge of your day and don't let your day run you. And by doing a positive thing first thing in the morning, you will create positivity that will overflow into negative things that take place during the day. Because positive leaders don't ignore reality. They mean optimism and belief that create a better reality for them and their teams. So just because bad things are happening around you doesn't mean that you're not acknowledging that those things are happening. What you are doing is you are speaking life and hope for a better tomorrow or a better outcome in the midst of the things that are going on around you. When you have hope and optimism, that allows you to push through uncertainty through time. You know, they did a study and they were asking Holocaust survivors what was the main thing that allowed them to get through what they were going through. And what they said was they visualized and had hope for a future that they were going to get out of where they were. They were going to get out of the situation that they were in. And not only did they see that, they helped others see that too. The people that didn't make it just from the stay that they were in those concentration camps, not the ones that went to the gas chambers, the ones that didn't even make it to any of those, they were the ones that had despair and no hope of a future, thinking that they were going to be there forever. And they passed away in those camps. So the positive mindset and then passing that positive mindset allowed groups to get through what is quite possibly the most horrific thing that happened in history. Think about that. If you have a positive mindset that allows you to have hope, you are able to push through whatever circumstance is placed against you. And abundance flows into your life out of the gratitude that flows from your heart. So if you have hope and gratitude for where you are now, abundance will seek you out because it knows that you will be grateful for the more that you have with the little that you have now. So how do positive leaders approach problems? Well, leaders don't minimize problems. They actually attack them head on. And I know that this is the hardest thing in leadership. I know it's something that's really hard for me because nobody wants to have difficult conversations. So you need to start looking at the things that are problems and not only look for positive outcomes for it, but acknowledge them, own them, and make a plan to move forward to a brighter future. You know, even though that you have these scenarios and these problems, you need to tell yourself that there is a brighter future on the other side. Because what does that do? That trains your mind to start looking for opportunities or ways to solve it. If you are conversely telling yourself that there is no way around it, there is no brighter future, this is all there is, that is also going to cause your mind to pass up possible solutions that have been presented to you. Sometimes the problems that you're currently facing have already had solutions given to you, but because of how you're looking at that problem, your mind just was not open to see the answer when it was presented to you. Because clarity leads to focused action. When you have an idea of a brighter future, when that one thing that was presented makes itself visible to you, because now you're looking for a brighter future, you're looking for an opportunity. Now, all of a sudden, you have the ability to see it and take action. So there's two qualities that leaders need today in order to stay positive and to lead their teams well. One is love. Two is accountability. And we talk about this all the time, guys. If you would just love your team more than you love yourself, your team will push on and do things that otherwise they wouldn't do, because it doesn't matter how much you know, it's what you do and what you say and how much you care for your team that causes your team to move forward. But then also, accountability is important because of the fact that if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, that erodes the relationship and devalues what you say to your team. Not only are you supposed to be accountable to yourself and the things that you say, but you also need to hold people on your team accountable. So when you're going through, make sure that you're having conversations in love. And the thing is tough love is not the way that you need to do things. You know, a lot of people correct or discipline people and they call it tough love. Well, the thing is that you need to love tough. That was something that John Gordon said. You know, we can't just talk about being tough love people, because most people don't want to hear that anymore. We have to love people tough. You need to lead people to get the results through accountability, but you need to love them along the way. Your love for them is what supports the accountability that they are looking for from you and you are looking for from them. Love is the thread that binds together that. When your team knows that you love them, they are willing to follow you. And while you push them through to the next level, they're okay with the accountability because they know it's because you love them. So in order to be positive and optimistic, you need to show love to your team, show that you care about them to the point of you are working for the things that are their goals, because it helps push them forward, which, as you know, in this business, it helps propel you forward. If you love your team, don't let them slide. You challenge them. The best leaders have always loved abundantly, but challenged their teams to greatness. We talk about this all the time. It's one of those things where the negative leader tends to be not a leader at all. They tend to be a manager. They are the ones sitting there cracking the whip, telling the people to do things, and they're not leading anyone anywhere. They are pushing people somewhere that more than likely they don't want to be and they don't want to go, and they end up resenting that person. If you are a loving leader, you will show the way, know the way, and go the way, and people will follow you. When you care about your teams, they will care about you and your goal. One of the things that I wrote down today in my daily quotes to myself, let me pull it up. It says, where did it go? I sent myself 5 texts this morning. When you are a great leader, you don't see the greatness in yourself. You are always seeing it and talking about it when it comes to your team and the people that are around you first. That is how you lead greatly. So guys, today, go back through and see if you are being an eternal optimist, or if you're allowing your automatic program to view negatively the things that you're seeing per day. Now, how are we going to do that and correct that? We're going to start with a positive journal, a positive output for the first thing in the morning. You're going to do a gratitude post. You're going to do for ways to be excited about your day. And then at the end of the day, you're going to recap by writing down one thing that you are grateful for that day, one positive thing that happened that day. How are you going to lead your team? You're going to lead your team with love, but also keeping yourself and them accountable. You're going to hold your team to a high standard, but you are going to love them along the way. when you love them along the way, holding people to a higher standard is something that they will enjoy and move towards, versus if you're doing it in a way that causes people to negatively resent you. Guys, I hope this helped you today. Go through, listen to this again, take notes, write it down, apply it to your week this week, and watch and see how positivity starts overflowing and bubbling out of you down to your team, and watch how that changes the culture in your team. Guys, go out and make it an amazing day. I hope your day is awesome as you are.